You are listening to One Happy Podcast, episode 79.
It's just be prepared for the amount of work that there is.
Yeah, I mean, and that being said, I would say it's not impossible. It's very doable. Yeah. You just have to want it. That's all.
Yeah.
Bon dia, and welcome to One Happy Podcast, the officially unofficial podcast of the island of Aruba. As always, I'm your host, Curtis Robinson, aka Aruba Kurt. And before I get started, I want to thank you guys so much for choosing to download and listen to today's episode of the show, which is going to be an amazing and extremely useful episode for anyone that's ever dreamt about starting a business in Aruba, or more specifically, buying an already existing business and turning it into something of your own. If you're anything like me, sometimes you daydream about how you can make Aruba your home. Well, if you've ever doubted that can actually become a reality, this is the episode for you. Here's a story about a Canadian couple who sold everything and made this dream come true. When they saw an ad for a bar for sale in Aruba and decided to just throw caution to the wind and make that purchase. Now, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Alfie's in Aruba. I never had until recently when I began receiving inbox messages from people telling me I have to try out Alfie's. So I Googled them and visited the website, alfiesinaruba.com. And the moment I saw their menu, I knew it was my kind of place. So this last time we were in Aruba, we were going to meet a friend who lives part-time on the island. She happened to be on the island the same time that we were there. So she said, you know what, you have to try this place called Alfie's. And since it was already on my radar from the inbox messages, I was definitely up for checking it out. So we met over there towards the back end of our vacation. And as soon as I hit the door, I was blown away. It was one of the friendliest places that I had ever been to. Now, I'm telling you, they really know how to take care of their patrons. And here's the kicker. It's actually a Canadian bar with an Aruba vibe. What I mean by that is you get the great service and the friendly smiles that you expect from an Aruban joint, but with a Canadian flair. Now, I could go on and on about what makes Alfie special, but instead, I'm just going to let this interview play so we can all find out what happens when two Canucks walk into a bar in Aruba and they buy it. The entrepreneurial story of Peter and Amal of Alfie's. So on my last trip to Aruba, one of the hidden gems that I found in Aruba was this place called Alfie's, which is in the downtown area. A friend of ours took us there and said, you have to go there. You have to try it. The owners are really nice. The food is great. The prices are in Florence. You'll love this place. So this was the Thursday of our trip. So we're about 2/3 of the way through. We went to Alfie's finally, and Anne was right. It was an absolutely incredible dining experience. And I am lucky enough to have the owners of Alfie's on the podcast today joining me. So I want you guys to please welcome Peter and Amal. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
To One Happy Podcast. Hey, guys, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Pretty great. I'm thankful that you guys were able to take time out of your day to stop by the show to tell us a little bit more about Alfie's.
Well, thanks very much for asking us to be on.
Yes, I am honored. So let's start off by finding out your Aruba story. So how did you first discover the island of Aruba?
I would say it was about maybe 4.5 years ago. We were kind of tired of Canadian winters, and we were looking, okay, let's take a sun vacation, and I was looking on some seat sales, and Turks and Caicos popped up, and so did Aruba. Mm-hmm. And Peter said, hey, you know what? My dad used to always get down to Aruba on these gambling junkets every year, and he always told us that we had to get down to Aruba sometime. So we just clicked on purchase for the tickets to Aruba without even having a place to stay or anything. And I think it was 10 days prior to departure date. Mm-hmm. We just bought the seats, and that really was it. That was 4 years ago, and we came back every year since.
Yeah, my father did a lot of, when he'd come back, he'd come down for 5 or 6 days, and the hotels would bring him down. He wasn't a heavy gambler, but he knew how to play the system. Mm-hmm. And, they just, they'd give him, the free room, the flight and everything, as long as he played a little blackjack and a little craps. And I guess this is probably about 30, 40, maybe 40 years ago. Uh-huh. He was doing this. I don't think they do it anymore, but he always came back saying, the beaches, beautiful beaches, the water, you can drink the water. He never got ill or anything like that down here. he really enjoyed the people. So I thought, when I saw that, I said, you know what, maybe we should try Aruba. And here we are. So we tried it. 4 years ago, we tried it. A little sketchy of a trip. I didn't realize we needed a car. I just pictured this little island about 10 feet long. And you could walk around in no trouble, but it's like, wow, we need a car here. So it took us a few days to find a car. We did a lot of walking. And we were up in the near the high-rise area at Gold Coast. In a small little, I guess it was a studio apartment. It was actually the garage of a mansion.
Okay.
I mean, fixed and everything. There were no cars in the garage, but it was a garage of this great big house that was unoccupied. So we started enjoying it, and then we came back the following year for a couple of weeks, and then 3 weeks, and then last year, in January 2016, we were here for a month. And that's when we purchased Alfie's.
Right.
And by the way, I named the bar after my father. So Alfie's.
Okay. I was going to ask you that. I was curious if the name was Alfie's before you purchased it, or if you guys named it that.
No, it was called Twister Cafe before, and I think that name was attached to this bar for like something like 30 years maybe? 20 or 30 years, I think. And as soon as we bought it, we kind of said, okay, we looked at each other and we knew exactly what we were going to call it. So we called it Alfie's.
Nice. So what made you purchase? What made you purchase a bar? I see on your website it says 2 Canucks walk into a bar and they buy it. So tell me that story.
I guess it was, I'll never forget this day. We were flying out in January 11 last year. I'll never forget it because it was the morning that David Bowie died. And we were getting ready to fly out. And I was getting kind of a little nervous because I'd known that we had this appointment to look at this bar 2 days after arriving in Aruba. So, to backtrack a little bit, I saw the ad 3 days before flying out.
Okay.
And contacted the realtor and said, hey, is this place still for sale? And he said, yeah, it is. So we made the appointment for 2 days after our arrival. And that really was it. I don't think have we ever heard of Twisters before?
No.
We'd never heard of it before I saw that ad. And we just we'd been kicking the idea around for about the previous year, but well, maybe we should, just sort of give everything up and move down to Aruba and open a bar. And I don't know if we were serious when we made the appointment with the realtor. I think we were kind of like 80% serious,
right?
Maybe less. And then we saw the place and went, okay, maybe. And then we just put in an offer for what they were asking. So
actually, it wasn't what they were asking, but we ended up going to that price anyways. But yeah, the first offer was a little cheaper, but they weren't budging on the price, and so we finally got approval and.
Yeah, and that was it.
So how long was that entire process?
It took us, we actually made the initial offer probably the day after we saw it.
Okay.
Back and forth negotiations for a couple of days because we weren't sure if we wanted to purchase the actual bar itself or just the corporation. Finally, we put in an offer for the whole kit for what they were asking, and that was a 3-week process between... I guess just getting our offer accepted. It wasn't really, it was just back and forth trying to get this offer of ours accepted. And then the last week we were rushing around trying to get the notary to open a file for us and get going on it. So it was probably 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Just trying to seal the deal, really.
Right. Now that seems pretty fast. I mean, especially for an island, things usually move slower.
It was moving slow.
It was moving. That was really just the acceptance of our offer, really, that took 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then by the time we got back home, I think we got back home February 8th or so of 2016. It was still quite the process between then and the date that we left in September.
Okay.
To come back here of just back and forth paperwork. I mean, a lot of documentations have to transfer hands and before you can purchase a corporation here. So that was really lengthy and boring, but it had to be done.
Right. So you guys had the option of purchasing just the location and also the corporation. What were the advantages to doing it the way you did it?
Well, the options were purchasing just the paperwork, really. So the paperwork for the corporation, or purchasing the location with the corporation. We were initially interested in the paperwork just because it met this certain set of parameters or criterion that allowed a foreign national to become 100% shareholder of the corporation.
Okay.
which in turn bolsters your chances of getting a residency permit, work permit, and all that sort of approved because you are the majority shareholder of the corporation. As so long as you kept paying your Chamber of Commerce dues. No breaks are allowed in the Chamber of Commerce annual dues. So that was kind of our initial offer was, hey, you know what? This is what we're offering just for the paperwork. And they turned that down right away. Well, they countered with their full asking price just for the paperwork. So that's when we kind of went back to the drawing board and sort of discussed, whether or not we wanted to really run a bar in this particular location because it clearly poses a massive disadvantage if we were going after the tourists as our primary target market. But we kind of looked at it and came around and came a few nights and said, you know what, if we could sort of really hone into the locals and become sort of a really cool destination spot for the tourists, like, hey, we found Alfie's because we are kind of tucked away here. We thought that would be kind of interesting. And it's working. I mean, people are finding us, and it's kind of cool. They have this little experience when they come down here, little local experience at a Canadian bar.
Right. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I felt. The fact that it took a little bit of effort to find it, but that was part of the fun,
Thank you.
When you finally get there, it's like you finally reached, X marks the spot. The treasure is waiting for you.
Yeah. I actually have, we got a Canadian couple reached out to us about, I would say, 7-8 weeks ago?
Yeah.
They said, hey, we're looking to come down to Alfie's because we want to come in and have a bite to eat and see where you guys are. Where are you located? So I described it as much as I could over the phone. And then I ended up getting a phone call here at the bar while we were open. And she says, Amal, I've been driving around for 20, 30 minutes. I cannot find you guys. So we did a little bit of back and forth on the phone for about 10 minutes. And I said, you know what? Forget it. I'm coming to get you. Just stay where you're parked. Because she'd been driving around the block for about, I'd say 30, 40 minutes. So I took one of our regular customers, Darren, a great guy. And he said, let's go walk over to meet them. We walked over to meet them. The car was, there was 4 people in it. And I tried to tell them how to get, they were only about 2 blocks away. And I said, you know what? It's here and here. She said, hop in the car. So I just hopped in their car and drove them over here.
Nice.
To the bar. And we left Darren to walk back because there was no room for him.
I love those stories.
So it's kind of hard to find, but when you do it, hopefully people have a good time.
It's a one-way streets to get people.
Yeah.
That's the problem. There's so many one-way streets. I sent my brother home a couple of times, and he'd get lost because he just make one wrong turn, and you're at the other end of the island almost.
Right. So how would you best describe where it's at, the location?
In terms of landmarks?
Yes.
I would say the biggest landmark, we are right next door to the San Francisco Church. It's the biggest Catholic church or cathedral on the island, and we are right next door. Other landmarks include a sports bar called Manuelitos that everybody knows, and this corner store called Circle K.
Right. Yes.
That's the landmark way of describing it.
And we're in that same corner, like that same block.
Yeah.
It's a different neighborhood, and a lot of my friends, when we came down to buy it in January, they came with me, and they started looking around going, are you sure about this? And you're never sure about anything. But, you make it work. And as it turns out, the neighborhood is like it's a lot of people worried when they come down, the tourists especially, was my car safe there? You should have cameras outside. And it's like nothing's happened, knock on wood.
Right.
But the neighborhood is good. You've got a few homeless people, but they're very... they sort of watch out for your business.
Yeah, they watch out
you make friends with them. I make them a couple of meals now and then. I get them to wash some cars for, 10, 15 florins. And they tend to watch out for your business, overnight. If they're walking around, they'll keep an eye out.
Right.
Yeah, it's working out all right. It's not as bad as everybody seems to think it is.
No, it's actually pretty good. There's a nice little sense of community down here.
Yeah.
We like it.
The owners of the other bars around us and stuff, they all acknowledge us. I don't think a lot of them speak English, but they know who we are, and we know who they are. So we all watch out for each other.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
right.
It's good.
Yeah. No, I had no reservations about the area at all.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Well, no, we get by. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I assume you guys had a background in restaurants before you purchased the bar?
Yeah, I did. Up until, I guess, January, I had a poutineery. That's one of our foods, of course, poutine. And it was like a hamburger hot dog club sandwich French fry spot across from a government complex. And I sold that back in January. So I was there for about 8 years, and that's sort of where I honed my skill of making burgers and poutine sauce. And it was a busy little spot, breakfast and lunch only, had the weekends off. It was nice. I mean, it was a lot of work, getting up first thing in the morning in minus 30-degree weather. It was no food at all. And I guess that's one of the reasons why I said, you know what, I'm ready. Let's go. I'm
Yeah. And and I my father owned a 200-seat restaurant. Well, actually, my whole life growing up, my father owned restaurants, and I started washing dishes when I was 13 years old, and then I ended up cooking for this 200-seat restaurant for about 4 years. So, I mean, that's kind of my background as well.
That's very cool. So, you mentioned, I'm going to say it wrong, poutine?
That's good. No, that's good. Poutine.
That's good. Okay, so probably half the people listening have no idea what that is. So can you please explain to the audience what poutine is?
Basically, it's a French-Canadian dish, and it's French fries with cheese curds. And cheese curds are just little chunks of cheese. It's different processes, like cheddar cheese and stuff. Mm-hmm. They're a salty little cheese curd and with gravy. So I make the homemade gravy. I bring the cheese curds in from Wisconsin. I hand cut. Well, I don't hand cut the potatoes, but they're
hand cut. Yeah.
Well, it's a machine that cuts them, but
they're fresh cut every day.
Fresh cut, and so I we can put anything on it. If you want vegetables on it, we can saute some mushrooms, green peppers, onions, some sirloin beef on it. I make a pulled pork that's very popular with a barbecue gravy on it. So, and it's like a meal in one dish. You get your potatoes, you got your meat, you got your cheese, you got everything there with gravy on it, and it seems to be going over very well. We're doing very well with it now.
That was honestly one of the things I was most excited about whenever Ann told me about your place. I had never had poutine before. I had heard of it, but I never experienced it. So when we got there and we ordered, I didn't really know what to expect. It was absolutely amazing.
Glad to hear that.
We loved it. Matter of fact, we loved it so much that we ordered poutine as like an appetizer, basically. And then when we got our burger, we poutinerized the fries.
Yes, nice. Yeah, poutine is really, in Canada, especially Eastern Canada, it really is. It's kind of one of those things you'll find, in Aruba, we got rum shops everywhere. Well, in Eastern Canada, it's little poutineries everywhere. So it's, people eat it for lunch, dinner, while you're drinking, after drinking, when you're hungover. It's kind of that go-to meal.
Very cool. I absolutely love it. I was just talking to someone last night. I was telling them that I was going to be interviewing you today, and I was describing Alfie's to him. They were like, hey, hold on, wait a second. They have poutine in Aruba now?
We do. We brought it in. We're the first.
Yes. Yeah. Only at Alfie's.
Only at Alfie's.
That's right. Mm-hmm. How would you best describe Alfie's to someone that's never been there?
I would say it's just a cozy, no frills Canadian pub. With
a billiard table.
Yes, I saw that.
With a billiard table. It's really just like it's casual, cozy. We try to do our best, good food, and local prices.
Yes. The prices are all in florin and extremely reasonable.
Thank you.
Like I saw that chicken tenders are on the menu for 17 florin. That's what, like $9.50. Burger and fries are 18 florin. That's about $10. You can't beat that anywhere.
We didn't think so. We didn't think so. That's good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And the poutine, of course, is about $8 for the regular poutine. We went no frills at first, but I think the next time I visit them, I have to step it up to the pulled pork.
Oh yeah,
get the pulled pork.
Yeah. Biggest seller.
Yes. So do you guys also do happy hours?
We do. We've got a happy hour from Tuesday to Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. Mm-hmm. And what that is you can mix and match your beer bucket. We offer Presidente, Polar, Balashi, and Chill, and it's 5 for 20 florins. Mm-hmm. And you can mix that up. And we also have 2 guilders off of all other drinks, cocktails, wines, and spirits.
Nice. Yeah, so great deals as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm digging this place. I'm not all that familiar with the downtown area. We stay up in Palm Beach normally, so we don't get out in that area very often. But I'm starting to discover so many different places that make me want to reconsider that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? And then that's the thing. There's a lot of little businesses cropping up here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure of the name just yet, but another a Dutch couple opened up a little bar just around the corner from us, and we're excited to get down and see what that's all about. They're opening up slowly, but it's nice. It sort of brings people to the area, and I mean, it's healthy competition. It's great.
Right.
And it's a nice little area.
Yeah. I find a lot of the tourists too down in Palm Beach, the high rise, the low rise, they don't come wandering down this way at all.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do, when they come in here, they, oh my God, like, look at all the places down here.
Right.
There's a ton of restaurants down here. There's, they either stay towards the cruise ship strip and they don't wander off, come back into from the strip a couple of blocks, and there's a ton of restaurants in here, little bars and pubs. And
it's great.
I mean, this is, it's the oldest part of Arandestad, and there's a lot to discover. But a lot of people don't even know that this even exists. They see the main drag with the cruise ships, the little shops and the jewelry stores, and then that's it. But there's so much more to this island. Mm-hmm. I find that, people have been coming here for years and never been down here. Never leave. Don't leave the beach. Go to the same pub. Go to the same bar. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's comfort for them too. It's almost like an American kind of area. There's a lot of Americans restaurants and stuff, and they feel they're comfortable there.
Right.
Each his own, but we're a little more, adventurous.
Yeah, Aruba's got so much to offer. There's so many restaurants, so many bars. I think it's a lively scene, and we've always liked to discover those little hole in the walls or those little gems, like you said earlier.
Yes. You guys, what are your hours?
Hours are we're closed on Mondays. Mm-hmm. From Tuesday to Thursday from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Mm-hmm.
Or later.
Yeah.
If we're busy, we're not going to throw anybody out.
That's
okay, cool.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Fridays we open up at 5 o'clock till 1 a.m. The hours are kind of a little up there. And then Saturday, 6 till whenever. Yeah. Sunday, 6 till 10.
6 until the police drive by and flash the flashlight at us.
Then
now it's time to go. Now we got to close.
Yeah. So we open at 6 p.m. every night except for Friday. It's 5.
Okay.
That's
and
crowd.
And what time does the kitchen close?
When I feel like it. Usually.
Okay. Cool.
It depends. Usually I shut down the burgers around 11 o'clock. On the weekends it can be a little later. But usually
11 o'clock is 11 o'clock.
I close the kitchen about the same time we close the bar. But say if we're staying open later, for instance, like on Wednesday, we got guys that come in to play billiards. They could be here till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning sometime. I'll shut the kitchen. I'll give them last call. Say, guys, I'm not making any more food after 11. They'll order a few things, and then if somebody came in and really wanted something, I could flick the fryer on. I just don't like to get into the burgers and stuff because it just, after cleaning all that up, it's I don't want to do it again. But,
yeah, definitely.
Basically, 11 o'clock is when the kitchen would close.
Yeah.
Cool. That's plenty late. No, I just need to know that I can find a bite to eat, after I get a nice buzz going.
Exactly.
I love it. What is your most popular? What's your most popular dish there?
I think it's a toss-up between the pulled pork poutine and the Alfie's bacon cheeseburger.
Okay, cool.
I think it's definitely a toss-up between those two.
Very cool.
Yeah.
No, I loved the burger that I had there.
Thanks.
I think I get the bacon burger.
Yeah, it's 8 ounces of sirloin Angus beef. I mean, how do you really go wrong, right?
Yes. I'm trying to think. And buckets you mentioned. How much is it for a bucket of chill?
A bucket of chill. Well, on happy hour, it's 20 florins. Five chill for 20 florins in happy hour, and then 25 florins after happy hour.
Those are great prices too.
It's very cheap. It really
it's the neighborhood we're in, right? I mean, we're not. In the
we got competition across, but not really it's not our clientele, but these guys, the Rum Shack and Manuelitos and stuff. Their beers are pretty cheap. Mm-hmm. So we have to keep in the same area. Maybe we're a little more expensive, but we do have air conditioning. A lot of these places are just wide open. We got to pay for our air conditioning. It's a little different of an atmosphere. So yeah, but we're right in there. The prices are good. A lot of the locals like the prices.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys also have bands there at times, right?
We do, yeah. So every Saturday nights now we've got Alain Rockney, who's he's pretty well known on the island. Yeah. He plays a lot of solo gigs, but he does he plays with a band called the Black Sheeps, and they play at Chaos often and all over the island. So he's here Saturday nights. He can start any time between 8 and 10 p.m. He really kind of sets up, and when he feels the vibe, he goes, okay, I'm going to start now. So he's here and he's great. Mm-hmm. And we've also got we've got a Canadian bluesman coming in, blues, folk, world sort of music. His name is Victor Nasrallah. He's here for the first 2 weeks of April, and he'll be playing at Alfie's Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights for the first 2 weeks of April.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
And I also was clued in that Peter does a little singing, right?
Oh, who clued you in on that?
Your Facebook page.
Oh, yeah. That's true. No.
After how much per no?
I need a lot of alcohol before I start getting up and singing. So, yeah. No, I don't think it's going to happen.
It might.
I'm not saying it, but
never say never.
Never say. I can't carry a tune. So.
Yes, he can.
No.
He can. He can carry a tune. After a little bit of Jack Daniels and maybe some Pernod, he can carry a tune.
Yeah. There you go. It loosens up the vocal cords.
Yeah.
I'm looking right now at visual evidence that it's happened at least one time.
Yeah, that was last night.
I love that picture.
Well, we couldn't let Alan sing that song alone. It's just too good.
Right? Now, you guys have a lot of fun down there. I love it. The atmosphere was just incredible.
Yeah, we do try to have fun. I mean, we live in Aruba. What's not to like? I mean,
Exactly.
We're so lucky we get to live in a place that, most people get to go on vacation on only. So we're quite happy here. Right.
So do you ever, pinch yourself to see if you're actually dreaming or not?
I don't like to injure myself, but I do. I do sometimes wake up and go, wow. Okay, we live in Aruba now. It's kind of weird, especially when I see a lot of pictures from back home on Facebook of,
mm-hmm.
It's 30 degrees centigrade below zero. And I'm going, oh, right, I live in Aruba. Don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, not your problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, sometimes we do have that realization.
So are you guys ready for the eye of the hurricane?
Why not?
Well, as you know, Aruba lies below the hurricane belt, but on One Happy Podcast, we pick you up and drop you right in the center of one, which is where I'll ask you a series of questions, and you guys will just answer them as only Peter and Amal can.
Okay.
Okay, finish this sentence. You know you're in Aruba when?
You open a beer at 9 in the morning.
Nice.
When nobody uses their signal.
Give me a no-brainer great time in Aruba.
Just going to Eagle Beach.
Yeah, Eagle Beach.
Is that your preferred area?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, we sort of discovered it this year, too.
Yeah, we used to always go down to Rogers Beach.
Right.
That was my favorite. Mm-hmm. And then we thought, let's pop over to Eagle Beach and see what's up. And
nice sand. The sand is good. And the waves this year are much... I've never seen the waves so big. Good now. There's some swimming.
No.
Right. What's the best kept secret in Aruba?
Best kept secret?
The little natural pools that we go to.
Oh, yeah. The Bushidi Bana, the natural pools there, the little ones that just formed not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I would say people are starting to discover it, but man, I think we've taken our guests 8 times there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I don't know if you've ever been there.
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay, so it's near the gold ruins, the gold mine ruins.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just, there's this little ladder hanging off a cliff, and you go down the ladder, and there's these beautiful little mini natural pools that have formed. It's very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. I've seen pictures of them, but I've never been.
Really pretty. I like that spot.
I will have to add that to my list.
Certainly do.
We're about to get a foot of snow tomorrow, but that's not a problem that you guys have.
Oh.
But is there something that you guys miss about Canada?
To me, it's the, I guess the forest, pine trees, the maple tree, that kind of thing. That's the lake, going up and hopping in the car, going up to a friend's place that live on a lake and go swim in the morning. And I mean, not that we'd be swimming right now, but I think that's what I'm going to miss the most. Is that during the summertime, you're going out, just heading up to somebody's lake, spending a couple of nights, fishing in the morning. I mean, we can do that here every day, but up there it's just a little crisper. You know,
Right.
the lake water and stuff. I think that's probably what I'm going to miss. What about you?
For me, I'm really going to be really sad, I guess, on Canada Day. I'm a huge Canada Day participant. So that's July 1st is Canada's birthday. And this year's special is our 150th anniversary. And we come from Ottawa, Canada, which is the capital.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some really, really cool festivities going on all year. I'm involved in a lot of them usually. So I will miss that. And Peter and I lived right downtown Ottawa in this area called the Market. Pubs, bars, shops. I mean, really cool area. You just step outside and you've got about 30 Irish pubs sort of at your doorstep. So, I mean, I'll miss that. I'll miss that. But so far, we're just sort of enjoying ourselves here and basking in the glory of Aruba, I guess.
Right. Usually, I mean, Monday is your day off. And so what would you normally be doing right now?
Probably fixing something. Sometimes we head out to a beach. It's funny. It took us about 3 weeks before we hit a beach while we were here. We just never bothered. But yeah, Mondays we might go to a beach or just sleep in or laze around the house kind of thing.
Right.
But there's always something. I try to put everything off until Tuesday, when we reopen tomorrow night. So if I need any shopping done, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah. But there's things we should be doing, but we just don't.
Right.
You know what? We've had our house we've been lucky to have all of our friends and family visit us between January 4th and March 6th. Our house is full, so we spent every day off hanging out with them, going to all the sites.
Yeah,
so I think we're sort of we're just sort of coming down from having to always do something or. I mean, our guests were fabulous. It was great. No one ever put any pressure on us, but we always wanted to take them out and show them around. So I think now we're just ready to hit the beach and just chill for a bit.
Cool. It sounds like a solid plan. So now that you live in Aruba, what's something that someone can't possibly know until they have lived there?
The banking system.
What about it?
What about it? I don't know. It seems to be pretty normal here to folks to sit in the queue for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour almost, to make a deposit or a withdrawal instead of going to the ATM.
Or you got to pay the bills too.
Or to pay your bills.
We don't have our permit as yet, so I cannot get out. Well, everything's in the process, right? But until I get that number, I can't get a bank account. I can't open a bank, so you can't do online banking. Well, you've got to go sit at the bank in a queue with about 30, 40 other people. The other day I was there for 50 minutes. Just standing in line waiting to pay the rent. And then you find out to pay the rent. You got to give them cash to pay the rent. And I'm looking for, I told the landlords, I'll just pay you cash. No, you can't do that. You got to go pay it, put it in my bank account. So that's something I wasn't really aware of. I just thought, you just walk around, get money, get a receipt in there. It's all, no, you got to go to the bank and pay this.
Yeah,
so all your bills have to be paid at the bank. And
it takes a half a day.
It could take a while. And I'm very confused as how all these people have that much time off during the day to sit in a bank.
Right.
You must work because you're paying your bills. So what gives you, how can you just sit there all day?
It's wild. It really is.
That's pretty crazy. I can't imagine spending that much time just waiting in line.
It's wild.
So this is the final question of the Eye of the Hurricane. For some reason, Aruba's being evacuated for an entire year. That's right, no more white sand beaches or turquoise blue waters for an entire year. It comes as a surprise to everyone. However, they're allowing you one more day in paradise before it's time to go. So Peter, Amal, how do you spend your last day on the island of Aruba?
Go to Alfie's, have a burger.
All day?
Yeah,
all day. I don't know. You'd have to golf for sure.
Oh yeah, I'd probably.
We do. Yeah.
I'd get up in the morning, probably have a game of golf, and then
game of golf, then head out to the beach, Eagle Beach, lay there for a couple of hours, go grab some lunch.
Maybe do a trip to the natural pool.
Yeah, go to the natural pool.
One last time.
Then go to Alfie's for dinner. And then maybe head out to, either Chaos maybe for a live band or the Pipe maybe for hear some music.
Yeah.
And then hit up the food truck, the El Mexican food truck.
Yeah.
Nice.
How's that? I think that'll cover
That covers
a day.
a day,
That
yeah.
covers a day.
Sounds like a pretty awesome day to me.
Yeah,
Well, you guys survived the eye of the hurricane. How was it?
it's fine.
It's pretty good. Yeah, thank you. It's good.
Cool. I got one more question before I let you guys get out of here, okay?
All
All right, so right now there's probably someone listening that has the same dream that you guys may come true. But they're a little nervous and probably a lot scared about making such a bold move. What would you tell that person to encourage them to just go ahead and do it?
It depends on how bad you want it. I mean, people thought I was crazy. I left a very secure federal government position to come and do this. Peter sold his restaurant. We got rid of everything we owned almost. Came down with 2 sets of golf clubs, a guitar, and our clothes. You really have to want it. That's all. And I think that.
Yeah, I guess we give him advice. It's not. I guess it's not as easy as we thought it was going to be. I really didn't think it'd be the paperwork involved and the I guess hiring the lawyer and the accountant and stuff. And the lawyer is, I feel like she's an employee of mine now. But she's constantly doing things. There's always something to be done, and a lot of it we can't do because a lot of things are printed in Dutch, so we can't read it, we can't translate it. So you got to use the lawyer a lot. I think that's something I warn somebody. Just say, you know what, it's a great thing to do. I don't look back and say, oh, I don't know about this. It's just be prepared for the amount of work that there is.
Yeah, I mean, and that being said, I would say it's not impossible. It's very doable. Yeah. You just have to want it. That's all.
Yeah.
Nice. You just have to want it. Love it.
Just to want it, yeah.
Perfect. So I've taken up enough for you guys this day. This is your only day off, so I want you to go out and enjoy paradise. But I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to come on One Happy Podcast.
You're most welcome, and thanks very much for asking us to do this. This is a lot of fun.
This was great. Thank you.
This was fantastic. Thank you.
Cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Call us back anytime.
I am looking forward to coming back to Alfie's in a few months.
Okay. Excellent. We'll be here.
Cool. I will look for you guys, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
So there you have it for the 79th episode of One Happy Podcast, the officially unofficial podcast of the island of Aruba. I want to thank Peter and Amal for taking time out of their only day off of the week to hang out with me and do this interview. And I also want to thank you guys because you're the reason why I do this. Now, I don't know about you, but Peter and Amal's story is just one of those stories that makes you smile from ear to ear. It's pretty cool hearing from someone that didn't just talk about doing it, but they actually made the leap. And I'll tell you what, Alfie's has a great future. I had an extremely tasty burger down there, and now I'm a huge fan of the poutine. I'm also looking forward to exploring that area some more. Now, we talked about a lot, but as always, I took the notes so that you don't have to. And they can be found over at onehappypodcast.com/EP79. OneHappyPodcast.com is the flagship for all things podcast related, so head on over there and check it out. You can also check me out on Facebook, and that's at facebook.com/OneHappyPodcast. Check me out on Instagram at OneHappyPodcast and on Twitter at ArubaKurt. Now, if you like the show and you want to leave a review on iTunes, that'd be awesome. So head on over to onehappypodcast.com/iTunes. That's the easiest way to make that happen. But what would be even better is if those of you that support the show and appreciate the hard work that goes into it, if you could share this on your preferred social media network. I'd love to see how big this thing can get, but that can only happen with a little help from my friends, you guys. Also, if you have any feedback, good or bad, please do hit me up at Kurt@onehappypodcast.com. That's Kurt with a C. So once again, I want to thank Peter and Amal of Alfie's. Go check out the menu at alfiesinaruba.com. Stop by there for some poutine or just to say hello the next time you're on the island. But in the meantime, peace, love, and Aruba.
Hit the music.